Ciaran. I want to begin by thanking you for the opportunity to speak here on this important criminal justice bill before the Dáil today, and I also want to begin by commending the Minister for Justice, Frances Fitzgerald, on the reforming nature of the work she has done since she was appointed to office at the Department of Justice. I firmly believe that the current Minister for Justice has taken on real the problems affecting both the Department of Justice and the Garda Síochána, and she has shown real leadership in taking on the criminals who plague this country. As this new bill before the House today is just another example of how, under her stewardship, this government is cracking down hard on criminals. This particular bill is targeted at repeat burglars who have multiple previous convictions and who have been charged with multiple offences of residential burglaries. It has two clear elements. One, it will strengthen the provisions for refusal of bail in future offences, and two, it will provide for tougher sentencing for repeat home burglars. Criminals need to know that from now on there is going to be tougher sentencing and tougher sanctions for this type of crime. There needs to be a deterrent for these criminals to stop them coming before the courts every few months, because as it is, the system is acting like a merry-go-round which does not sanction the criminals hard enough to stop them from repeat offending. Thankfully, my family or I have never been the victim of a residential robbery. However, I am sure that you will agree with me that when I say to you that it is highly damaging crime, where on many occasions the victims of this robbery have also physically assaulted by the criminals involved. However, I do know a number of families, widows, widowers, businessmen and elderly people in my constituency of Sligo-Leitrim who have been robbed by criminals, and about the horrendous shock and horror that these incidents have caused to the victims and residents of the areas under threat. However, too often, an even greater shock for these victims comes when these repeat robbers go before the criminal justice system, as too many times these scourges to society are handed concurrent sentences, or sentences so lenient that it would make you wonder, was there any point in bringing these criminal proceedings in the first place? This leniency needs to stop, and we need to start getting tougher with these criminals. I firmly believe that this bill, when enacted, will be the starting point for this to occur. From speaking to Garda on the ground in Sligo and Leitrim, it is clear to see that there is a demoralising effect from this type of result on the Garda. Garda could spend many months working hard on a case in order to bring these criminals to justice, and then see the criminals laughing at them in the courtroom as sentences is handed down. Seeing these same criminals week in, week out, walking into our courts and getting handed these type of sentences does not promote the drive needed to put these serious effort into their work. This bill before us today is just one component in Fine Gael and Labour's plan to tackle criminals and make crime pay. Work is continually progressing on updating the Garda operational response to burglary. For example, 700,000 for new specialised vehicles to support Garda in responding to current and emerging crime threats, including burglaries committed by highly mobile gangs, has recently been announced to tackle the gangs hitting rural Ireland. This is on top of the 29 million the government has invested in new Garda vehicles since 2012, with 370 new vehicles coming on stream since the start of the year. The government's investment in new Garda vehicles clearly support the Garda in being mobile, responsive and visible in the community, both urban and rural, as well as being critical to supporting the work of the Traffic Corps and national units. Another aspect in the fight against burglaries and crime generally will be aided greatly by this government's decision to recruit new Garda. In September 2014, the government reopened the Garda College in Templemore for new recruits for the first time since 2009.